Prophetic Inspiration, Inc., owned by Ernestine L. Smith, founder of the Word of the Day Ministry, the visionary and host of the Word of the Day talk show that airs on Clubhouse every Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's the founding member of the Word of the Day Bible Study and the Poetic Plug. The pastor, spoken word artist, author, poet, and she brings the word to the ministry that God has led her from mirror ministry to prophetic ministry. The Day Talk Show is the safe place where you can eat, receive, and be empowered with the word of the day and prophetic affirmations. So come and join us, the Word of the Day House, on Clubhouse app every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to get the Word of the Day.
Amen. The Word of the Day. All right, now. Welcome to the Being Queen Talk Show. I am your host, Queen Yolanda Mitchell, where you can tell your story, speak your truth, and talk about your journey on New Being Queen Talk Show. Y'all, I have a beautiful guest for you all on tonight, but y'all know how we do it on New Being Queen Talk Show. We always encourage you all to share. So go ahead, stop what you're doing right now and share this video. I'm telling you all, it's going to be good. It's going to be tasteful. It's going to be really rich. Okay. This guest on tonight got a powerful background, powerful story. I'm excited to be bringing her on before you. She's a good friend of mine, powerful woman of God. She transformed her life through faith, becoming a licensed evangelist and a successful entrepreneur, someone that have been in prison. I like to call it from the prison, from the pit to the palace. Come on, kind of evangelist. You know, this woman of God has inspired many people that she comes in contact with, someone that inspires people. She's an entrepreneur. She's a speaker. She's an author. My goodness, what is she not? Okay. She overcame challenges past marked by incarceration. When you would have thought that someone that had been in prison would still be in a prison mindset and have an all woes in me attitude. But let me tell you something. This woman of God said, I'm going to beat the odds. I'm going to come out there fighting and swinging and just thanking God for my freedom on tonight. So this woman has showed us that coming from the prison, being incarcerated, locked down, to having a free of mind and have freedom to full range to do whatever God has put in her hands to do. When I tell you powerful, anointed woman of God, I don't know what she's going to say on tonight. I don't know what she's going to say, but all I know is y'all need to go ahead and start liking this video. Y'all need to like it, subscribe on YouTube. Just subscribe to New Being Queen Talk Show on YouTube. Y'all know we do it on New Being Queen Talk Show. We comment, we talk, we chit chat. We share information. If she says something that you like, comment. Let us know how you feel about it. So I'm going to bring our guest on right now. And this is our beautiful guest for tonight, Queen Evangelist Sanjuana Robinson. Hey, how are you doing, woman of God?
I am doing wonderful. How are you, prophetess?
I am well. So excited to have you here on the show on tonight. I don't know what God is going to do, but I just know it's going to be God. And I'm just excited about it. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Well, my name is Sanjuana Robinson. I'm a mother of 6. I have 2 boys and 4 girls. Like, I it is so much to talk about, but I don't know what God is going to give us to talk about on today. But my journey is from the prison to the palace. He told me he was taking me from prison to CEO, and that's most definitely what he did. And so it's been a long journey. The journey has been tough, but he's been with me every step of the way. So I just thank God for that itself, from him being with me every step of the way. But I'm from El Dorado, Arkansas, what we call the Pound. I was born and raised in Haganil. garden center. It is some apartments on the west side of El Dorado. But yeah, that's my life. It's
Okay, woman of God, listen. We know everybody got a past, and we know we got a story. Listen, we finna pull from you on tonight because we finna get this little giant that's roaring to come out of you because we know there is so much more. Let's talk about being the little lady, the little girl that you were, and how was your upbringing and things that you went through. Because we got to talk about how do you get to where you are today, to be writing books and becoming an author and a motivational speaker. I mean, evangelist. I mean, woman of God that speaks with such a great anointing and fire. So kind of tell us a little bit more about your upbringing as a little girl. Tell us about that.
Well, I'm a child of three. My mother had two girls and one boy. Um, she was a single parent up until I was 10. She then had my sister. We are 10 years apart. Um, I was a child, was being molested at a young age. Um, so during that time, of course, what goes on in the house, stay in the house, and then being scared to tell anybody, because if you some of us feel like if we tell anybody concerning our past, they will feel like you nasty. I just had this persona in my head. If I told anybody, they'll be like, well, you nasty. You know how you would think, how men would think concerning you being molested as a child. And so I had this in my head that if I told anybody, although I was being told that I better not tell anybody and what was going to happen. But during that time I had started running away from home, and my
Mm,
mother thought I was running away from home because she of course she was saying I was hot. They have this thing, if you run away from home you're going to be with a little boy, but that wasn't the case. I was actually a tomboy. Every boyfriend I had as a little girl, I beat them up. So it was never because I was being hot or I was having sex.
mm,
That was on my mind. I was running away from home because of a lot of things that was going on.
mm,
So at that time, my mom started beating me. Um, it was a lot of stuff going on at the house. So I would run away to my family house. They would call my mom, tell my mom come get me, or they would take me back to the house. And so during that time, I just started doing a whole bunch of stuff. I started being rebellious as a child, doing everything. Um, I had went into the foster home when they took me into DHS. Once they started sending me off, I would run away from the institution that they would send me to. So round about 15 going again, I was finna be 16. My mom took me to the doctor, and the doctor of course told her that I wasn't having sex, but she cussed the doctor out so bad. I'll never forget. She cussed the doctor out, told him he better put me on birth control, and just it was a whole bunch of things that she was telling the doctor and stuff. So then he did put me on birth control, but it was a lot of stuff going on. So of course during that time she was saying I was having sex. So once I turned 16, I was almost 17. I just started my first time. And at that time, when I went ahead and did it, I was told that this is going to happen. Them will demonstrate what's supposed to happen. And once I did do it, I was very disappointed. I was like, this ain't what they told me. So, well, after that, um, I ran away from home. I actually left home. I was almost 17 then. I got pregnant at almost 18. I then had my oldest child, which is 26. Um, I left home completely. And so I then after I had my son, I returned back to my mom's house. I was like getting ready to be 18. I then returned back home after my first child. I I ended up back in Haganil where a lot of things happened. And so I went
Mm.
back to Haganil when I after I had my first child. And from then on, I did what a mother's supposed to do. So I was told that I was never supposed to have been having nothing but that one child. But after
Mm.
that, I ended up having five more after him. And so I just was living life. Life was life. And so I got out here doing a lot of things to make sure my kids didn't want for anything. And so
Mhm.
that's my childhood as being a child from the age of 16 to 17, finna turn 18. I, my first child. And so from then on, it was just life was life. Life was most definitely life. And so once I turned 19, I had my daughter. I was almost 20. My oldest girl, I was almost 20. So once I had her, they dad didn't do nothing but beat me. I was in
Mm.
a abusive relationship with him. He would beat me. So the last time he ended up jumping on me, he had put his footprint across my chest, and I ended up sending him to jail. So after he went to jail, I then had the courage to leave. My baby was like 3 to 5 months, the 24-year-old. So once she was like 3 to 5, I left. And so
Mhm.
I was just out here. I was doing my thing, living life. And so during that time, I went back to my mom's house just for a little while. I then moved back in with mom. Um, Mom was helping me with the kids. And so it was just once I turned about 23, well, I started, but before then, I was writing checks. Um, Me and my 7-year-old father, we was together during that time, and we was out here fighting. We was out here doing a whole bunch of stuff. We was gang banging. Oh, it was everything. And so that I fought. That's fighting. I did that. And so we started talking. We out here fighting. I got into the older crowd had told me how to write checks. So I ended up writing checks, and they was trying to teach you how to do this and do that with the checks. And so I ended up on probation at the age of 19 years old.
Mm.
And so once I got put on probation at 19, it was over. I got put on probation. Once I turned 19, I started getting in trouble, writing checks, making checks, um, just doing everything. Whatever my mind could come up with concerning some money, I would do it. I was out here. So I was doing everything I could to make sure my kids don't want for nothing. And so once I turned like 23, I ended up meeting the 20-year-old and the 19-year-old father. I was working at Conagra. Went to Conagra. I was at Conagra loving it. I was sanitation. Doing trying to work at that time. Lifestyle, it was a lot of stuff going on back then. So I was doing all kind of stuff. During that time, I was doing all kind of stuff. I would come up with a scheme. Um, I'll never forget one day I had came up with an idea. My coworker, I had went and bought some gray spray painting his hair. I had did some stuff that I ain't had no business.
Who
And
had you painted? Who had who had did you paint?
my coworker, he was an older guy, somebody that I used to sell my drugs to. And I had came up with an idea. Yes, I'm telling you, I had came up with an idea. Spray painting his hair gray. I had his glasses on. I had an older white. He was Caucasian. I had his driving license. I had his bank information. So this particular day, one of the family members came to our house. We all chilling. We all doing our little thing. We was sitting. It was an idea came up with. We was just sitting on the information because we was planning on moving. We was finna move, and the family member came over crying, talking about the people finna come and get them and arrest them. So I came up with the idea what to do. So my co-worker was Caucasian. He looked at just like the driver license. So I came up with the idea to go get him some reading glass, spray paint his hair gray. Oh yes, I'm telling you, the mind used to mind. You hear me? And so went through the bank, got so many thousands of dollars out this particular day. We got away with it. You hear me? But the family member, the one came over to the house, went and told her sister and everybody else. So the family, that sister came, asked for some money.
Oh,
I Why you didn't ask your sister for nothing? Well, she went and told on me. So they then came and picked me up. I'm pregnant with my baby. They then came and picked me up. I end up going to jail. They told my baby daddy vehicle. And so I took that lead. It From then on, I was going. I stack probation, stack. Yes, I was. I'm telling you, it was. I was doing everything. The kids that I made sure they didn't want for nothing. So I was the Caucasian man. I was selling him the drugs. I had been knowing him, so I would sell my stuff on the side, my little crack, and he would be the one of the most sellers. I didn't sell. I only sold to a couple of ones because I didn't get out here and just do it like that because they were snitching during that time. So I just had my people that I dealt with at that time. So he was game for it. He didn't get in trouble. So he was game for it. So we did that. Then right after that, I went back to jail, got back out. I had made some checks, went to jail, got back out. So during that time, I was just doing a little bit of everything. So this one particular time, I had just had my 16-year-old. He was maybe about 3 months. And so I had one vehicle. I had a silver Toyota Camry with some 20s on there. I had that vehicle and they had put a note on my door, told me I had to go to court because I was behind on bills and rent and everything. Well, I took that one vehicle. I came up with me an idea because it was something that me and some people was going in on, and they counted me out the deal. So I came up with my yeah. So I ended up coming up with my own idea, and that idea that I came up with, I had made some checks. I went and got some. I call them CHs now because I rather not call them that. But I went and got a lot of CHs, printed the checks out, put their name on the checks, and took them to go cash the checks. Oh yes, they were real checks. And so I did that. We ended up getting caught up in that and ended up going to jail for that. Got in trouble, got back out, got probation, another little stack probation. Well, after that, I ended up going to prison for the first time for the checks and stuff. And when I went to when I went to prison that time, that wasn't enough for me. I was in prison, talking about, oh, I'm finna go at home and finna sell all this stuff. I'm finna get all this money. I'm finna do this and do that. And everything I said I was going to do, I did. The first time wasn't enough. It was just it wasn't even a wake up call because it didn't do nothing for me. So when I came home, everything I said I was going to do, I did. I came back out, print more checks, making more checks. I actually was going state to state going down state line, printing the checks in the vehicle and cashing them, going in the getting fake IDs, cashing them. Telling you, the mindset that I had then. So this last time before, when I came home, the first time, I ended up getting. I was paying attention to some things, and so I found my own little person that I could deal with. Had an idea, went up there, flirted with the man to get what I wanted. So he started having me to come up there working in his office. I learned the ropes, got the ropes. I started bringing my people up there. I will bring them to him so he can do the income tax for me. I will bring all the names and do everything I need to do. And during that time, I'm doing the income tax. I'm coming, going to Texas, going to get my drugs, jumping state to state again with the drugs, and I start getting money. Well, this time I thought I had got away with it, but everybody know how God works. Had been fighting the charges for at that time for almost 7 years. I had been fighting the charges. Thought I had got away with it. They had arrested a lot of us. It was a lot of us. We had got arrested at that time. So I told my attorney, once we got ready to leave court, I told him, I said, well, I'm finna go to Louisiana. I'm gonna move to Louisiana. Because I'm like, I'm tired. I'm ready to go. I need a new scenery. It's time out. Because during that time, the people was they had started plotting, the men, we had started hearing a lot of men trying to plot, rob us. It was just all kind of stuff I was doing because I'm like, you talking about vehicles, paid for, right? Everything had to have rims and music and paint, wet paint, house. I'm telling you, like every 6 months, I would change in furniture, buy new stuff. I would give stuff away, buy new stuff, because when you got money, you just got money to blow. And so that's what I was doing. And so once they came and arrested me, I was like, it's time for me to go. I'm tired. That's when I first started having migraines. So I had been having migraines about 5 years during that time. And so I started getting tired, stressed out. Like, no, this is not when you start having the carol get in around with you, it's time to stop doing what you're doing. And so I was tired. So I told the attorney, he was like, well, they might bring these charges. The feds they said they looking at it and they might bring them up. I said, well, that's fine. I said, I'm just letting you know where I'm finna go. You got my number and everything. It's time to go. And so he was like, okay. So I ended up leaving. I would dib and dab every now and then when I moved to Louisiana. But when I moved to Louisiana, I got a little peace about myself. Well, I ended up having a dream, and I had told my sister and them about their dream, and everything that actually happened in the dream happened in real life. And I was like, back then it was deja vu because I didn't know. I was never taught that's a dream, daughter. This is God is showing you what's going to happen to you. And so I'm like, see, this is like deja vu. She said, that's the dream you had. It is. And so I said, oh my God. So I because I had my kids and I had to hurry up and get back to Arkansas because they wanted me to turn myself in at the sheriff's office in Louisiana. And I'm like, no, I'm not turning myself in. So when I made it to Arkansas from Louisiana, because I was staying in Shreveport at that time, I made it to Louisiana. I made it to my attorney office, and they came up there to pick me up, and he was like, "Nah, y'all can step out. When I get through talking to my client, she'll be out." Well, during that time, I end up going to jail, they had to revoke my bond. And so when they revoked my bond, we had to stay in court all day. Well, the attorney didn't want to leave until I was able to bond out of jail. Well, they then, allow me to come on house arrest. If I bond out, I'm going to be on house arrest. So I then got put on house arrest. I got out, got put on house arrest. Mad. Oh, I was mad. Oh, I was mad. I was crying mad. That's how mad I was. Because I'm like, God, why is I'm the only one on house arrest? Well, during that time, that's when God started dealing with me. That's when he started showing me. That's when he started teaching me. Because I didn't know what a lot of stuff was concerning church. I have been around. I was born and raised in the church. I had my spiritual mom actually is one of the ones raised me from being a child to now. She had been instilling church in me. Then my mom's best friend was a first lady, and her husband was a pastor. So they used to keep me and my sister. So, and we was raised in a church. It was just, I chose a whole different life than what I was taught then. But during that time, I was never taught no apostle. I only knew about a pastor, a reverend, and a deacon. I never knew about evangelist. I heard about a minister, but not like that. Until I got put on the minister part, I started learning about a lot of that when I got put on the house arrest. Well, I had to do house arrest for 4 years before entering in prison. And so during that time, that's when God started teaching me and pouring into me the wisdom that I have now. So I was taught and I went through ministry classes, a lot of teaching and tutoring during that time, during the prison time, the house arrest, and then entering in prison. And so that's when he started teaching me a lot of things. So that's how I ended up, because I started doing a lot of taking speaking engagements. My first conference that I ever had was doing house arrest, 2015. God had downloaded that and gave that to me, stepping into the new, taking your rightful place. And so during that time, that was my first conference that I had ever had. And he had told me, he gave me everything that went on. I asked him, he downloaded, he gave everything from what I wore, how I put my hair up, how the outfit that I had on. He showed me that, all that in dream. And so
hold on, woman of God. Okay, so this is all before you went to prison, right?
This is all before I went to prison.
Oh my God. So this was during a time where the conference report,
I was house arrest.
Right, during the conference. But hold that thought. We're gonna take a commercial break real quick, because I want you to really delve into that part about, because you would have thought that after prison, that's when you get yourself right. Now that's stuff, but you said, listen, house arrest was teaching me. And I was learning from being at the house and being sat down. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to let you talk more about that time sitting down on house arrest.
What's up, kings and queens, and welcome to the Poetic Plug Room on Clubhouse app, where you can talk about anything but just keep it clean. You are always welcome to listen, join, or even speak in the Poetic Plug. I encourage all authors, artists, and all lovers of poetry to join the Poetic Plug. Hosted by pastor, spoken word artist, and talent coach, mentor, author, and radio and talk show host Ernestine L. Smith from Georgia, aka Kiki the Poet. Spoken word artist, author, minister, musician, Samuel Green from Chicago, aka Griotry. ABA therapist, spoken word artist, author, visual performance artist, and designer, entrepreneur, Sierra A. Goings from Philadelphia, aka Beautiful One. And minister, medical assistant and caregiver, spoken word artist, poet, and author, teacher and music instructor, musician Tabitha J. Jones from Alabama, aka The Joy. And introducing poet, writer, makeup artist Mia Colvin from Ohio, aka My Poet's Tie. You can meet all of them, including new artists, new authors, and lovers of poetry on Clubhouse app. Every second and every fourth Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Poetic Plug House on Clubhouse app.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful commercial. My goodness, that was beautiful. Okay, so y'all, we are here talking about this woman of God that has went from prison from to the palace. We're talking about her right now. We've just talking about her time that she did all the stuff that she did when she was younger. I mean, writing checks and getting on probation and selling drugs. We're talking about a woman, right? And oh my goodness. And now she's talking about she got put on house arrest. And then that's when her new life began. So I'm gonna bring her back up and let her start from there. Because you would have thought that after she's gotten out of prison, everything would have changed. But no, she learned before she went to prison. But y'all, we gotta get her back up. Let her finish telling us more about that story. All right, woman of God, finish telling us about it.
2000, I got put on house arrest 2013. God downloaded and gave me the vision of the women's conference. Stepping into the new, taking your rightful place in 2015. I didn't know where the money was coming from, because during that time, at first I couldn't go nowhere. So he then gave me the idea to write my attorney. And when he had me to write the attorney, he gave me everything to put on there. So when I wrote the letter, I typed the letter up. I then sent it to my cousin. I said, proofread this and send it back to me so I can send it to the attorney. Well, after I sent it to the attorney, God had already told me he was approving it. And so when I sent it to the attorney, he approved it. I started being able to get out. So that's when I started being able to get out and go to the church, start going to churches, start doing different things, going to work. I ended up able to get a job. So I went to Foster Farm in Formerville, Louisiana. So I was driving down there, working. During that time, that's when he gave me the download of stepping into the new. He gave me the name of it at work. And I said, okay, Lord. He then gave me the date for the conference. I set the date. I said, well, Lord, I don't have the funds to even start funding the conference. Well, an ice storm had came during that time, and it was snowing. And when it snowed, me and two older Caucasian ladies worked down there, and we got together. We went to the supervisor. We were like, well, it's the storm coming. We need to be trying to head home so we can go make it over the bridge. Well, they told us no. We went back to our line, and they told us if we did leave, we'll have to take a half of a point or a point and a half. We looked at each other. We were like, no, we're not taking no point. Why should we take a point? And it's storming outside. So we then went back to the line. Well, when I went back to the line, my glove ended up, my right hand my glove ended up catching up in the belt. And it was trying to take my whole hand. So I ended up snatching my hand out the machine so it wouldn't cut my whole hand off. I didn't know until I pulled my hand out that the tip of my pointer finger got cut off. Well, they hurry up and came, blood just flowing everywhere. They had to hurry up and still, since y'all didn't want to let me leave, y'all had to take me. So they end up rushing me to the hospital. They end up having to take me to Monroe. Because I had to go and see a specialist because of the tip of my finger. With the tip of the finger, we don't know where it was at. And so once that got cut off, I had to go home. I then went home. The way God, the way God is operating, He's so strategic in the things that He do. He used the tip of my finger to pay for the conference. Well, while I'm sitting at home and they doctoring on my finger, because when they asked me while I was there, did they want to cut it down to the nub? And I'm like, no, I don't want no nub. So they was like, well, we're just going to have a nurse to come out and do what they need to do every day. So a nurse came out. While the nurse coming out, they told me I never have a nail on my finger. The tip, it grew back. My bone is cut just a little bit at the tip, but my skin grew back up. I have a nail on that finger and everything. But during that time, it was healing so fast. The doctor was like, wow, we have never seen nothing like this before. Well, during that time, I had to be at home. So they paid me more money sitting at home with the insurance. So by the time I got my first check, I had done got 3-4 checks during that time. So that's when I was able to pay for the building. I was able to pay for everything concerning the conference, the food. I did everything by myself. And so during that time, I had everything set up. I was able to pay for the flights, whoever came. I was able to pay for all of that. So the way he had me we did a red carpet coming in the door, and he had my old shoes. He had me to bring my old heels. And as you walking in the door, it went from your old heels to the new heels. So he said, you walking out of the old into the new. And I said, okay. So it was set up so pretty. I'm talking about, who would have ever thought a woman on house arrest would have been able to pay for this kind of stuff? And so it was set up real nice. My mom came, helped me. The food was cooked, prepared, served, everything. And this was for a weekend. This was a couple of days, a conference for a couple of days. You hear me? So God was just he just started doing some things for me during that time, and He started showing me the new things. And so that's when He started dealing with me about my dreams, about my gift, because I didn't know anything about it. Wasn't nobody trying to teach me. When nobody, even the churches that I was going to, they wasn't pulling it out. They was teaching me different things, but they wasn't teaching me what was my calling. They weren't helping me with my calling. I just helped into my calling until the house arrest. So during that time, God started showing me different things, visions, dreams. He had me speaking into people's life. One lady, I have never seen her before. He had me tell her that she's going to have to be there for her husband. Didn't know the woman. I ended up getting introduced to her by my cousin, and the Lord had me speaking into her. I had to tell her that when her husband had this DNA for this baby, that was not going to be his baby. Oh yeah, I'm telling you, the stuff that God have been doing. Men said I'll never be doing none of the stuff. That what men saying, statistics said. They said I'll never be doing none of the things that I'm doing now. And so when I went into prison, I started taking a lot of classes, and that's when I really started getting into. I was reading, focused on everything before I went in, but I really started getting into it, especially with the writing, because I never was a one that went to school. I was always one to skip in school. I'm trying to go fight. I'm trying to do everything else but school. School was never my thing. When I learned to find out that they had ministry classes there, and they was credited through Sanford University Ministry School. They had the professors come in. We would graduate. We would do everything. My first paper that I wrote was a B minus. I never wrote an essay, never wrote. I'm telling y'all, the stuff that God started showing me that you can do. When man said, because I had everything stuck in my head what man said I couldn't do. Oh, you just dumb. You don't know nothing. You ain't gonna be this. You ain't gonna be that. This what you're gonna be. You're gonna always be in and out of jail. You're gonna always be in and out of prison for your life. Well, during that time, he told me I didn't know what to whom much is given, much is required. I didn't know what that means. And I kept saying, Lord, what do you mean by that? And so he started showing me to whom much is given, much is required. He's requiring more of me. You requiring a lot of me. And so that's when I started focus. I would get up every morning, go to the chapel. I'm going to pray. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna meditate. I'm gonna get this word. And that's when God, he started showing me a lot of things. And I started taking these classes, started writing these essays, taking the classes, doing. And I said, oh, I can do it. My second page was a C plus. I said, oh, that what really made me start taking even the more classes. So during that time, he started showing me a lot of things. And he told me, he said, I had to separate you to preparate you. And I kept saying, Lord, why you kept saying separation for preparation? Because if I had not brought you here, and if I had not took you through none of this, you wouldn't be able to be prepared for such a time as this. And so he had told me, he said, see, you thought back then you was plugged into I was in the chapel. In the chapel, he gave me this in 2018. And he was like, and this in prison, he was like, see, you thought you were plugged into the real plug. I was meditating and I had seen this spider. So as the spider was going down the wall, I'm in there just meditating, listening, trying to hear, being still. And he had me focus on this plug. And I'm like, Lord, why is we focused on this plug? He said, see, because you thought you were plugged into the real plug when you was out here in the streets. See, but when you plugged into the ultimate plug, which is that plug, when you plug into that plug and the fire start coming through there, he said, real plug, I'm the real boss.
Come on.
You plugged into when you was out here selling these drugs and stuff, you thought you were plugged into the plug. He said, no, I'm the boss. And I said, okay, Lord, come on with it. So he gave me the rundown. He started telling me how, see, Jesus plugged into the real plug. Adam plugged into the real plug. He just gave me a walk down of everybody when they plugged into the real plugs. Look at Joseph. Look at everything that Joseph had to endure.
Come on.
To whom much is given, much is required. Joseph didn't know the calling that God really, really had on his life until he took him from prison to the palace.
Come on.
And he was teaching me. He was like, to whom much is given, much required. And I kept saying, Lord, why you keep saying this? And so he gave me that about the plug. And I said, okay, Lord. He said, see, now you plugged into the ultimate plug. And see, I had did my vision board. And when I still have that vision board to today, when I did my vision board, I started visualizing concerning my business. And he told me on there, from prison to CEO, on there, it has a big tower. From prison to CEO, up under there with a big tower. And I said, okay, Lord. I said, I heard you. He gave me the walk down scene to start do a lot of things in secret and in silence. See, we be so busy, we want to tell everybody about everything. Joseph had told his brother them the dream that God had. You gonna bow down to me. That's what in the words when he started telling his daddy, the brother, all of them. In the dream, y'all gonna be bow down to me. They didn't understand that. The brothers started getting mad because they started seeing a little bit. Oh, he getting a little favor. Daddy done made him the coat of many colors. You hear me? Okay. So now what's this going on? And so that's what the brothers are saying. What's this going on? Daddy favoring him more than what's going on? See, Daddy started seeing that vision too. So let me make this baby this coat. You hear me? They started getting jealous of Joseph. When they got jealous of Joseph, then they want to come up with, oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that to Joseph. We're gonna throw him in the pit. Y'all had to think about when y'all throw them in the pit. Y'all had to pull them up out of there. We're going to sell them into slavery. When y'all sold them to slavery, y'all didn't know what y'all were doing when y'all sold that man into slavery. Y'all didn't know what was finna happen. Come on now. So after that, Joseph went from the pit to being lied on to prison. Come on now. The way God set us up. He be so strategic and the things and the way he do it. The billboards and magazines that I'm sitting here looking at myself on, man said, I'll never be doing this.
Come on.
They said, I'll never amount to anything. But my daddy said,
come on.
But my daddy told me, he said, if you just see about my business, I'm going to see about you. And that's what he kept telling me when I was there. And he took care of my babies while I was gone. He did everything that he promised me because he's a promise keeper. Everything that he told me he was going to do, he did exactly that. When I came out of prison, I didn't know how to write no book. Write a book. My girl said, let's come on and join me and write this book. Write a book. Friend, I don't know nothing about writing no book. Come on, tell these people about your story. When I sat down and started, okay. From then on, the Lord, every prophecy started coming. They said it was going to be just like this. And when I tell you, he been doing it just like this. He been doing it just like this.
Mm-hmm.
So today, I just want to encourage somebody on today. Don't listen to the naysayers. Because the naysayers can't tell you what your daddy got. He said he knew us before we was even formed in our mother's womb. He already knew my name. He knew everything. He knew everything that I was going to go through. He even knew I was going to be writing them checks before I even thought about even writing them checks. Because he knew my thoughts before I even think them. He knew it. So he knew everything that I was going to go through. He told me it was necessary, that everything that I went through, it was necessary for such a time as this. So I can go out here and tell somebody else about where I know if he did it for this piece of trash over here. For this piece of trash, that man went down to the bottom of the trash. You hear me?
Come on.
Before I was thrown in the trash. He went to the bottom of the trash can and got me.
Ooh, come on.
Me out of the trash can.
Come
then
on.
he picked me up. He sent me. He had to take me on a journey in order for me to get to right here. So when man said you will never be nothing, you will never amount to anything, I just want to stop by to tell you, don't listen to what man said, what the naysayer said. The ones that don't hate you, the ones hate you, don't celebrate you.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about. It's time for a celebration instead of celebrating. Because when we celebrate one another, we don't know what God is going to do, what he's doing behind us. But when I tell you billboards, from billboards to magazines, from authors, bestseller, international, you hear me? International bestseller. So you can't tell me what man What man say, who report are we going to believe in? Because I done heard the doctor said I couldn't have number one child. I got sick though. So what report is we going to believe in? Is we going to believe in man report or God report? The one Jehovah Rapha, the one that healeth thee. Emmanuel. Which report are you going to believe in? Jehovah Shalom. You hear me? The one that holds all the power in his hand. Which report are we going to believe in? We're going to have to believe in the true and ultimate. Plug into the real plug. We got to stop plugging into the fake plug. The
Come
one
on.
that it don't have no power. The plug that don't have no power. That's the plug we got to stop plugging into. But I stopped by to tell you that God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. And I just wanted to share that with you, and with one those that is listening, that is being blessed. I hope this bless you.
Well, it was almost as if, I don't know if you've ever heard of Remy Ma. Remy Ma, she has like a show.
Yes.
And then you sound like one of the people that should have been on that show, of people that have had a rough run at it, because I kept hearing you say, a mother did what a mother had to do. You said, hey, I had some children, had them at a young age, and I did what I know, because it's like you became a product of your environment. This is what they were doing in that era. And I wanted to, make that money, write them checks, make checks,
right.
And sell drugs, and this is how I'm gonna make it for me and my family. And every so many months we were changing out furniture in my house, and I had these abilities to be able to do it.
Right.
And you're talking about how you were fighting and getting in trouble, and it's just like just listening to you and to say, yes, this hard. They would have counted you out. You're on probation. Every time you turn around, you're getting in trouble. Going to court on probation, writing checks, getting told on, and it's like you wouldn't stop. It's like you just kept doing it.
I stayed on probation from the age 19 till I was 40.
What?
That's how long the control of my life. Yes.
My God. And then, like you said, what they would have counted me out, getting in trouble, fighting all the time, staying on probation, done did prison time. God used me right before prison time to do a whole conference, and the conference was paid for. And God was letting you stepping out. Although it was prophetic that you were stepping out of the old into the new, you still had to do that prison time. You had to do that. But in the process of you doing that prison time, you became an evangelist. Oh, go ahead. What you say?
How I ended up going to prison, because he told me I was not going. I wasn't supposed to be stepping foot in prison. And God will expose you. You out here, he'll expose you. So I end up with Hannah. That's how I backslid, because I was at home by myself doing my thing. It was me and God doing our thing, and I backslid. I ended up getting pregnant with Hannah. I told you this story. Ended up getting pregnant with Hannah, and sneaking, doing what I was doing, and her dad knew I was in ministry. So dad, this is a Muslim now. Check this out. That's why when people be hollering, talking about unequally yoked, see, you got to break that unequally yoked down. Knew I was in ministry. You hear me? Your mama went out here, not to shame her, but mom went out here and told our business, because we wasn't trying to tell him. That man was like, we finna get married, because that's what he wanted to do anyway. He was like, we finna get married, and we're gonna do the right thing, because I don't need nobody out here talking about you while you out here doing ministry. Now, check this out, a whole Muslim now.
Come on.
So people, when people be saying unequally yoked, that's not That's because when I turn, you beat me getting ready for church. You hear me?
Come on.
He was beating me getting ready for church. Ready to get to church. That ain't taking you 2-3 hours to get ready for church. You've been up since so o'clock. So that's how I end up going to prison. And during that time, after I basically my attorney ended up dying. It was a lot of stuff going on during that time, yes. And so the attorney ended up dying, and they hurry up, and everybody was trying to get a promotion. And and I'm gonna tell you this. Everything when I went to prison, they didn't catch me doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They never caught me. They went by a word of mouth. When we everybody that was connected with to me that went to prison, they never caught us doing anything. Everybody went because somebody went and told on us because they didn't want to go. They never
Oh.
doing nothing. They never caught us red-handed. They never caught me in the bank. They never caught me doing anything. They went by a word of mouth. Majority of my majority of my crimes from the age of 30, about 29, no, because Hannah from from the age of probably about 30, 29, 30. From then on, I got told on. They never caught me doing it. So it was that's why I tell people this the it is it's corrupted. It's not, it wasn't fair because y'all didn't catch us, but God still had to sit me down and make me go through what I went through. In spite of what I think it shouldn't have and could have and wouldn't have happened. In spite of that, it was still gonna have to happen. You see what I'm saying? So God do everything for a reason. But I didn't go because I was caught red-handed doing anything. I went because of somebody told on me. Not they, none of that. Nothing. They didn't catch me doing anything. And so I tell people, even out here, and a lot of stuff had went on since I came home. I try to tell them, like, I thought I got away with it. Be careful out here. You got to be careful out here, because your best friend is the police. Everybody, even my kids, I tell them, like, you be out here, like my 16-year-old, I tell him, you think that's your best friend. Your best friend is the police. So y'all got to be careful out here trusting people and just want to trust anybody. But that's how I end up going out backsliding with Hannah. That's how I end up having Hannah. I end up getting married and having Hannah while I was doing that home confinement time. So I left her baby. She was like 5 months old when I left her. When I made it back, baby Hannah was walking, talking, doing everything. So I tell people, like, now you can't. I have to stay my distance. Like, I can't. I don't have time. Most definitely when I know who holds the power and what he will do. I don't have time no more. It's just so much out here. I don't have time. So I try to stay my distance and do what I do and be with these kids and do, you know. But yeah, they just it's a mess out here, and the system is so corrupted. They just as corrupted as the ones that's out here trying to do what they doing to get by, to maintain, because they just as guilty as the ones that's out here doing what they doing. And
Mm.
we have to be very careful and dot every I when you are here too, because you can go to jail just for, you can catch a charge just for letting somebody use your phone and don't even know what they're using the phone for. So we have to be careful out here. I tell people now, be very careful, be cautious, and watch everybody. And so but yeah, that I just had to tell you that little bit.
Okay, so we got a ex convict coming out of prison. Come on. Now an evangelist, certified, went to a whole university. Somebody who was before time, hard-headed, had babies, fighting all the time, selling drugs, writing bad checks. Then you go, you sit, God sit you down. He said, I got more for you. So
Yes,
even in the time when you feel like was the worst, God's, I'm gonna do something with this thing right here. Now I'm gonna send you to prison, but not only I'm gonna certify you, I'm gonna what to say, I'm gonna not only qualify you, and not only justify you, not only put a seal on and say this is who you are.
yes,
Why are you in prison? When you get out, now you a full-blown went to theologian, you went to school for theology, and look at you now. And now you want billboards, magazines, I
yes.
mean, writing books. I mean, come on. I mean, what else?
My second book is getting ready to come out July the 3rd, July the 6th. We're gonna do a book luncheon and but yeah, it's he got some stuff that he doing behind the scenes. Can't tell everything.
So you
That's
can't
it.
cut it off.
I can't tell it all. But yeah, he doing some. He was most definitely, because I went from apartments, you guys, from being divorced to apartments to storage house. You hear me? That's why I tell him you can't tell me what my daddy. Listen, you can't tell me what my daddy won't do.
Come on.
Mm-mm.
So you went from an apartment to a mansion because you got how many bedrooms in this house?
Hello,
You went from you take from the pit to the palace, from the apartment to a mansion, honey. Listen,
from the ditch. You hear me?
look
From the ditch. From, God,
at God.
from the ditch. You hear me? Man, I'm telling you, God doing some things behind the scene. And I just been praying for those that's connected to me because I know what he been telling us, and we've been just pushing, we've been pushing and we've been pushing. But if those that's staying tuned, just sit back, I'm telling you the stuff that God is getting ready to do for us. It's mind blowing. He's doing some mind blowing things. And so I just thank God what he's doing in the connection. He's doing divine connections in this season because of what he's calling for his people to do. Because he said he's calling for those that's going to worship him in spirit and in truth. That's going to get out here and tell the truth, not sit here and play with it, pat a cake with it. He looking for the truth. We got so many that's out here prophet lying, talking about what thus said the Lord, and God said no. He finna move them out the way because he need the one that's finna tell his word, not going to add it, not going to take away. And when he say do and say, that's what he's calling for. So in this season, that's what he's calling forth. So God he's doing he done did. He's moving some things around. So just sit back and everybody just sit back and wait and watch. Because God is doing some stuff. I ain't gonna get on here and get the preaching and stuff. But yeah. Go ahead, prophetess, because you know what you're doing. I'm
Well,
not
I'm
gonna
not. Listen, I am not trying to get nothing stirred up. I'm not
yeah.
trying to start nothing with you. I ain't trying to get into no battle with you, none of that. You know what I'm saying? But I just know it was just, I mean, just your story, your testimony, what you've been through. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, just all the stuff that you went through, because you were not supposed to be where you are today. You are in a prime example of someone, of a young lady, because you hear these stories from men a lot. Suddenly you hear women talk about the stuff they went through. And I was even writing down some notes when you were saying about you've been in an abusive relationship. You were talking about, life was life, and you did what you had to do as a grown woman. You did what you thought to do. Like any
Mhm.
other woman, any other person out there, and you say, well, I can't get a job right now, maybe too young, or I need help right now, I need to get some funds right now. And you said, do you know how intelligent you are? Because who would have thought that an idea would come to your mind and say, spray somebody's hair white or gray or whatever color. Put them on some glasses, and we're gonna do this and do it. Listen, I'm telling your story. And then writing check. You said I made checks, and then we got here. We making thousands of dollars. I was like, how do you make checks? Like, so I'm listening to your story, and I'm just thinking like, she mastermind. Like, you really just out the spirit of the moment. Like, that's intelligent. You have to be intelligent to be able to think of something on a whim, on a split second, how to make some money, make thousands of dollars, where you can change out furniture every time you turn around, every so many months. Like, I'm just saying, but then you turn that thing around when you said, well, okay, God, this is, you done set me down. I can't go anywhere. So what am I gonna do? Because I
Oh,
can't go fight
yes.
because I was writing down, I was like, why is she fighting all the time? That was gonna be a question of mine. Do you even know why you wanted to fight all the time? What were you fighting for? What was you fighting for? Your because you wanted to put on the a wall, because a lot of times when people are fighting, it's because they're trying to protect themselves from something. And you said as a little girl, you said you were molested, things like that. So
Yes.
you're trying to fight and protect you, but then you went on, and then having babies and things like that. I just, I'm just saying,
Even
Evan.
after babies, I used to be fighting. I used to be fighting with them. I did some stuff, robbing and stuff with them.
Whoa.
With that 20-year-old, oh, I used to do some stuff. Pregnant with her. Oh,
No, no,
yes, ma'am. The
no.
Listen, the only ones that I wasn't really out here ruthless with was the 16-year-old and the
Uh-huh.
6-year-old. The rest of them kids, them was some ride or die kids. I'm telling you, that was on. Listen, baby, I used to be in the club, robbing. I used to do some stuff. A lot of stuff I ain't gonna tell, but listen.
Your
The
story, listen, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
problem is,
I'm just saying,
the
do you know
biggest
Remy Ma? Your story sound like somebody need to be on her show.
I used
You
to be out
robbing folks?
ruthless, breaking in folks' house, robbing dope dealers. Oh, I used to be,
No.
yes. Jonathan had by 5 daddies. Yes. That's what they want to be his dad. He had one. I only saw one that he was
Uh-huh.
the rest of the men's honey was just claiming my baby.
No.
Oh, I'm telling you, I was ruthless out here.
And
Your
they
girl,
want to be a part of it.
I just don't look nothing like I've been through, but I was out here ruthless, rough. I was rough. I had
what they call?
3 sugar daddies, baby. Oh, baby, I was rough, prophetess. I was rough. Yes, yes, ma'am. Your girl was
So,
rough. Your girl was rough.
so
It Listen, it took nobody but God. That ain't nobody but God. I'm serious. And it be a struggle sometimes, because I be like, Lord, oh Lord, just help
like
me
you want
through
to
it.
take all it takes is a thought in a split second and get you couple thousands in your hand
Now,
in about 30 minutes.
ain't that because I be wanting to fight sometimes. I
Oh, your fight is still in you. Yeah.
want to come out. I done been getting cussed out, called out my name and everything. I'm telling y'all, it be rough sometimes, but I have to think about it because the stuff that God have shown me, a lot of stuff I ain't even talk about concerning even fighting concerning my children during the time that I was on home confinement, the fights that I had to really fight concerning my children and their fathers and stuff. You feel me? So a lot of stuff I just didn't bring up because I don't want nobody to feel like, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to, but your girl done been through some stuff. Your girl done been some times where I done damn near want to commit suicide. You hear me? Your girl done been through some things. The 24-year-old, I was 24. The 19-year-old, I actually, on Walmart parking lot in El Dorado, Arkansas, I took a whole bottle of pills, and my baby don't supposed to be here today. But she came out early. She came out healthy, and that baby was, she was big, a big baby. She was early, so I can just imagine how big she would have been if I would have carried her
Full
full.
term.
But oh yeah, your girl done been through some stuff. I'm telling you, it's a lot of things that I didn't talk about because I don't want nobody to feel no type of way. Because it's just a lot of things that I have been through. The struggle has been real. You hear me? I can truly say that. And I just thank God that the woman that y'all see today don't look like the woman that I should be looking like. I should be looking like probably older than my mama, but I don't look my age. You see what I'm saying? So I just thank God I just don't look like what I've been through. Because the struggle has been real. For the last almost 15 years, the struggle has been real, real. And so I just thank God I don't look nothing like what I done been through.
Well, I would say you're about 38, 43. That would be my age, that would be my age. That's the numbers I give it. 38, 43. Cause she look good. She's beautiful, small frame. Oh, she got about 3 children, and maybe she's been married once, but honey was like, no, keep counting, keep going. No, keep going up on the age, keep going up on the amount of babies. Okay, yeah. So yeah, but I mean, it's just to look at you. No, you do not look like what you've been through, and it's such a blessing. This has been a beautiful interview, and I thank you for telling your story. But I do want to say this for those of you that's out there and y'all looking for someone to be in a movie, someone to write a story about. If y'all know people that write a movie, a producer, somebody, I'm telling you all, find her because she got a story. They're looking for somebody to tell a story. We talk about a female here that has a beautiful story to tell, coming from not El Dorado, because we always talk about El Dorado, but it was another city that you was talking about where you came from. Then you had to go back to that place, and all that good stuff. Talking about somebody who done writing checks, all kinds of stuff. Did you ever break in cars?
No, I didn't break
cars. Oh, you didn't steal no cars.
I didn't have to because I was able to get the money. Robbing the men's, it was just a thrill that I want. It was just something that once I went through what I went through, I learned the power that I had. So I would use it towards men.
Wow, and you were not afraid because who goes up to dope dealers that they got guns on them?
Well, you time. See, one I had applied for a whole year. One I applied on for a whole year. And that's the one went to the 16-year-old dad and told the daddy that he might be the dad. I said he was so drunk and he was out his mind probably. I don't know if what happened tonight. I know he got robbed and he went and told the people. But you know what? That man told me I could rob him whenever I got ready. So every time So every time I seen him, he would make sure he pull out all his money out his pocket. Yes. Me and him we friends till to this day. He called me baby dad and I call him baby mama. I mean, he called me baby mama and I call him baby daddy. Listen, I'm telling you, your girl was rough back then. Your girl was something else. And so everybody just be cooling. They something else. But yeah, that's still my baby daddy. Although he know he ain't none of my son's father.
Goodness. Well, this has been a whole blessing for me. I'm done. We done got all the comments out. They done come and listen to your whole story.
No.
And yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So while you were up there talking, I was sharing comments and things like that. These people, they have been on, these kings and queens. They have been on and on tonight. So they've been sitting kind of quiet, but they've been commenting here and there. We got a couple of people that's on here. Queen on the beat, Queen Kaylin, Dr. Kishma. Hey, Dr. Kishma, Queen Dr. Stephanie, Johnny Good. Okay. So they've been on here. They've been hitting it up. I'm talking about they've been just showing you some love on tonight. So I just want to give you a few of their names and stuff like that. So I think that is it for tonight. Is there anything else you want to share? Okay. Tell us about how we can reach you and things like that. Any upcoming events that's coming up that you want to share tonight. Please do that.
I have the next Build It, the book coming out in July the 6th. I will keep everybody posted up on that. And then we have a conference from coming up June the 21st through the 23rd. If anyone want to meet me where I went to prison at in Huntsville, Alabama, y'all meet me there. No, don't meet me there. Beat me there. It's going to be a powerful event and experience during that time. It's a lot of other things, but some of the things it's going to be later on during that time. Then I have another billboard luncheon. Yes, Lord. Yes. June the 29th, I will be meeting prophetess Dr. Prophetess
Kishma.
George. June the 29th, we have another book billboard luncheon. And then we have some other things going on after that. I will keep everybody posted up, but you can reach me on Facebook at Evangelist Sanjuana Aaron. That is spelled Sanjuna. Then you can hit me up on, that's my business page. You can hit me up on my personal page at Evangelist Sanjuana Aaron Robinson. And then I am on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. I'm on all of them that you can name up under my name. You can hit me up. We can connect if you guys want to connect. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed telling you guys my testimony on today. A lot of times it'd be hard for some people to tell what they have been through, but a lot of things I was embarrassed about, but God told me there is nothing to be embarrassed about. There's just your past. Now you're talking about your future. So I have to remind I had to reintroduce myself to a lot of people because they always talked about my past. I have a lot of them still talk about my past, but they never want to talk about my future. They ain't talking about my right now, what I'm doing right now. So I had to come to reintroduce myself and let's talk about this right now. We got the past in the past. Let's talk about this right now. What's going on in this future? So I just thank everybody for those that came in, tuned in, and come in.
Amen. Well, thank you all for tuning in to Nubian Queen Talk Show. I love to have people to come on the show to talk about their story, tell their truth, and discuss their journey. So I always think about Nubian Queen when you want to come on a show and you want to tell your story. Come on, Nubian Queen Talk Show. We love to be interactive. We love to have fun. We have cried. We have laughed. We have talked on the show. We've done it all on Nubian Queen Talk Show. And I love to interview people. If you have any events coming up, you want to start your ministry, your business, and things like that, you want to come on the show, you want to discuss it, come on Nubian Queen Talk Show. Also, if you would like to advertise on Nubian Queen Talk Show, you can email me at nubianqueenmove@gmail.com. That's NEWBEING queenmove@gmail.com, and we'll discuss what it would take for you to advertise on our show. And then also this commercial break that we're going on right now is an advertisement of the conference that she will be attending. So pay close attention. Queen Evangelist Sanjuana, thank you for your time. We love you. And thank you, kings and queens, for attending the show. Stay tuned for your commercial.
Fervently Creations is proud to introduce the Renewed Mind in Christ Conference, a 3-day event focusing on marketplace ministry, mental health awareness, mindset shifts, and deliverance. Join us Friday, June 21st through Sunday, June 23rd for an immersive experience. Secure your seats now for this transformative gathering.
Hi, I'm Prophetess Dr. Tishir. Make sure you get your tickets for the Renewed Mind in Christ, June 21st, June 23rd at ferventlyevents.com. Ensure that you use promotional code WEUP50. That's right, WEUP50 to get $50 off your ticket price by May 4th. See you soon.
Are you looking for affordable advertising for your business? Look no further. We Need to Talk Station presents the Network Directory. Network Directory, TND, can promote your business. TND is a network of artists, entrepreneurs, influencers, organizations, multi-level marketing businesses, all in one, on one platform. That allows a directory list for business-to-business, customers, clients, and guests to be able to get what they need from you on the network directory. So subscribe to TND and let We Need to Talk Station promote you.
Prophetic Inspiration Inc., owned by Ernestine L. Smith, founder of the Word of the Day Ministry, the visionary and host of the Word of the Day talk show that airs on Clubhouse every Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's the founding member of the Word of the Day Bible Study and the Poetic Plug. The pastor, spoken word artist, author, poet, and she brings the word to the ministry that God has led her from mirror ministry to prophetic ministry. The Day Talk Show is the safe place where you can eat, receive, and be empowered with the word of the day and prophetic affirmations. So come and join us, the Word of the Day House, on Clubhouse app every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to get the word of the day.